Hello everybody, this is Stephen Job from DNS Made Easy and Constellix. We often get many questions regarding what are the similarities and what are the differences between the DNS Made Easy failover services and the Constellix failover services. So I thought it was a good time to sit down and record a quick little session and explain what they are. First of all, they both run over our IP Anycast Plus DNS infrastructure. This means that your DNS queries are going to be answered by thousands of our authoritative name servers located around the world, to guarantee that your users receive the fastest DNS responses and at the same time with the highest uptime. This has been industry proven over the 15 years of the DNS Made Easy's existence. DNS Made Easy monitoring, though, is configured and monitored and reported very differently than how the Constellix, sonar, and DNS applications work. The Constellix, sonar, and DNS applications were written based upon the requirements that many of our users needed within DNS Made Easy that we couldn't perform within that infrastructure, and so we built a newer service. The DNS Made Easy monitoring is done over 4 different monitoring locations. All monitoring is done between 2 and 4 minutes. Over the past 15 years, we average actually a little less than 2 minutes for every single time we check the systems. All monitoring is always verified from all the multiple locations to confirm that a system is either down, so you don't get any false positives. You do get up and down email notifications, and you do get those immediate DNS updates by our Peregrine Instant DNS Update infrastructure. The one thing that we do differently in DNS Made Easy, though, is that we're only going to check the secondary or tertiary IPs that you have listed if the first IP is down. Okay? And also, billing is really simple in DNS Made Easy, where the DNS failover is included in the business and corporate membership. You get a certain number of them with those memberships. And if you needed to purchase any additional, the price is very affordable at $4.95 a year, which is roughly 40 cents per month. So I first want to show you how you configure DNS failover in the DNS Made Easy system. The first thing you need to do is, of course, create a record. So I'm going to call this record my failover record, and I'm going to give it the IP of my first system that I predominantly want it to be. So over here, I'm going to put in this IP address. Apologize, I have space in there. Okay, so I added this with that IP address, and now you can see in the last column over here is our system monitoring and failover option. I'm going to turn this on, and I can turn on the monitoring notifications. This means I will now receive emails when the system comes up and down. I can put a system description in here. I can then notify who would like to be contacted by my contact lists, which are also configured within DNS Made Easy. I can see how many number of emails I would like to receive. You do receive one email when the system is first considered down. You do receive an email when it's considered up. But this is also how many additional emails you want to receive. For every 5 consistent failure checks, we will send out another email. So if it was down about 20 times, I would receive 4 additional emails. So let's say I want no more than 10 emails. And this is way if the system was down for a whole entire day, I'm not getting thousands and thousands of emails sent to everybody. The sensitivity will include how many times I want to verify the system's up or down before I continue on. So medium is generally what we prefer to people to do. That means we're going to confirm from all of our different locations twice before it's down. All these checks are done consecutively. They're done very, very fast. So if you want to be a little less sensitive, you could even say low. That means it's going to be checked everywhere 3 times. So it'll be 12 consistent downs. And high, the quickest failover means that all 4 are going to confirm it's down, and it moves right on and we think it's down. Okay, so that's what the sensitivity for. And like we say, we usually set the industry default. We tell people to read them. You can then choose your protocol: HTTP, HTTPS, TCP, UDP. For this check, I'm just going to say HTTP port 80. I don't need to put any specific FQDN in here. And now this is the option to actually turn on our DNS failover settings. This will actually have the system change the IPs for you. If you don't have this, you'll just get the emails of up and downs. Right? And then over here is where I will put the additional IP addresses that I have. And so now when the first system goes down, it automatically fails over to the second. If the second one's down, it goes to the third. The third one's down, it goes to the fourth. And likewise, as they come back up, it'll come back up to the top. If I choose to not have the failover continue, so as soon as it does fail over, it turns this feature off. what I do is I select this option right here. So that this says turn off auto failover after first failure. So as soon as anything fails over, we automatically will fail over to the second IP or third or fourth, depending upon which one's up. But then the failover services will be turned off. By default, most people don't want that, so we leave this feature turned off, and so we're always going to try to go back to the first location. And so that's everything you can do within DNS Made Easy. It's going to start monitoring every 2 minutes, and we're only really going to be checking the first location, and we only check the second location if the first location is down. Likewise, we only check the third location if the first and second are down, and we always check them in that order: 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. So we say OK. It's now configured, and now it's running. It's automatically pushed out to our 4 different monitoring locations, and we're going to monitor those about every 2 minutes. The sonar monitoring in the Constellix system is far more featureful and gives you a lot more capabilities of determining which monitoring locations you'd like to monitor for, what monitoring interval can be set. You can choose how fast you want it to be monitored. You get detailed logging of what failed and when. You can see all this back in your history, looking at your up and down notifications. You can get trace routes and virtual trace route information, comparing outages when your system is up and comparing when your systems are down. All the monitoring is also verified. It's monitored from another closest POP, or you can choose it as a feature to say you want multiple monitoring nodes to verify that it's down. Okay. You also get the up and down email notifications. You also get the immediate DNS Peregrine DNS updates. The pricing, though, is based upon the frequency of your checks. So the more checks that you do, the higher the price will be for the month, and the less checks you do, the more cost effective it can be. So the pricing is also very affordable. Industry-wise, the Constellix sonar pricing is a fraction of most monitoring companies, but it's also based upon if you want to check from 100 locations, every 100 locations, every 30 seconds. That, of course, is going to require many more checks than something that isn't. But the great thing about Constellix, though, is it gives you the historical views of your checks, and you can view when your system was up and when it was down, and you can also get all this information. And another big thing too within Constellix is that you're going to be monitoring all of your IPs all the time. You're not just going to be monitoring the second IP if the first IP is down. So you'll be able to know ahead of time if your second IP is down, so you can make a corrective action on it. So let me go into a sonar application here. And you can see I have a whole bunch of checks. But let me just add these IPs real quickly to 4 different checks here. And I'm going to create my first check. Let's do a web check. And give it this IP. Actually, I'm going to call this System 1. And right now, I'm going to say the interval is going to be every 30 seconds. I want all my monitoring nodes to check every so often. My verification policy is going to be simple, meaning that it's going to verify that it's down from the current facility and then from the next closest facility to it. If I choose majority, then that means it's going to take how many check regions I select, and it's going to need to have the majority of those say it's also down, up to 7. So if I had 10 systems, it's going to make sure that at least 5 confirm that it's down, the 5 that you've selected. So for this one, I'm just going to select a few locations here within Europe, North America Central, North America East, North America West. You can see we have a lot more than the 4 locations in DNS Made Easy. I'm going to save this. I'm going to make sure they're checking every 30 seconds. So all these different regions are going to be checking every 30 seconds. Give me my interval. This would be who I want to be notified during the actual up and down notifications as well. And also you get a lot more advanced notification, a lot more advanced configurations you can put in there as well. I'm going to skip those at this time. So I just want to show you some of the major differences. So I'm going to save this. You can see right now I have that system up there. I'm just going to click on this one and clone it. So I'm going to keep mostly everything the same. The big difference I want to put here, though, of course, is the IP address. No sense putting the same IP over and over again. We're not going to get much of a difference. So the next thing I can then do is then turn on the failover. I'm going to turn on the monitoring features for those systems. So we're automatically going to start getting detailed information around the world and start gathering all this. Obviously, I'm doing it from Europe and from within North America to do our monitoring. So the next step I do after I create the actual monitoring in Sonar in Constellix is to actually add it to a domain. So let me go to my server.us domain here, which I'm using for my testing. And I'm going to call this one my failover record. here, I'm going to put this out. I'm going to choose to be my record mode to be failover. And now, because I added that IP in there, I automatically have that sonar check available for me to choose. So I'm going to put that IP, second IP, third IP, and our fourth IP. And you can see right here, my failover mode normal is always lowest level, so it's always going to try to go back to IP number 1. We have different events, though, in different ways you can also use failover there. We have off on any failover event. This is similar to the DNS Made Easy model, where that it will turn itself off as soon as any of these records are failed over. But we also have another option, which is a one-way, so it's always going to move down the chain. And so 1 will fail over to 2, but 2 will fail over 3, but if 1 comes back, it will not go back to 1. And this is important in some configurations if you have a master-slave, and this one's a master to this one's a master to this one, or primary, secondary, this one's primary to the secondary, primary to secondary, based upon database replications, or however you are copying your content from one site to the other. So we give you all those different options. Also within the Constellix DNS control panel, you can enable or disable a system at any time and take it out of the failover configuration without actually moving it or removing it. Or you can actually change the order of them real quickly just by using these up and down arrows. So we give you a lot more customization options within the Constellix the control panel. We also have an easy way where you can do round robin with failover. You can put the IPs in here, and automatically all those IPs will be returned at the exact same time. And then as a system is no longer available, it just takes removed from the round robin. And that's a real nice feature as well. If you wanted to start doing unequal weights and unequal load balancing, if you wanted to have all of them return, if you only want one of them returned more often than another, so you want one returned 5 times as often as the other ones, then you would start needing to use our pools options, our A record pools. And at the same time, if you wanted to do something based upon performance, which systems are performing the faster, you would also need to use our internet traffic optimization features, which are part of our pools as well. So those give you a quick little more advanced features within the failover configuration. And you put the systems in here like this. And you save it, and the last thing you have to do within the Constellix DNS control panel is commit those changes, and you can say, I can say apply failover configuration. And save it. So that's all set now. So now both of them are automatically going to be monitored. The changes are going to be immediate. Within the Constellix system as well, obviously because we are using a separate monitoring application in Sonar, you can do C-name failovers. You can also do A-name failovers, so you're not just tied to the IP addresses. In DNS Made Easy, everything needs to be done to the IP address, and we only do A record failovers. So hopefully that gives you a quick little rundown of how the failovers are configured. And I want to show you real quickly right now is how fast the failovers do work. What we can do here is we can look at our Sonar application, see that all the systems are running up, and what I can do is I can do a quick little login here to one of our boxes here. So you see here I got a quick little box here, and on this box I have Nginx running. I'm going to quickly stop Nginx, and you're going to notice over here that I turned off one of them, and we're going to see one of these systems immediately switched to down. It was verified again at the one location, and was verified again at the next closest location. And so 159, 203, 171, 178, 171 is now considered down. And so within the DNS application as well, if you look at this the failover configuration, you're going to see that it's now using the second IP, 162. So if we actually do go back, we did a lookup on failover.server.us at one of our name servers, you'll see it's using the 162 address, right? And if we were to start back up our Nginx box, we look at our monitoring, you're going to see we're constantly checking as well, so we're going to see that also a very fast up notification. You see it's now saying up, and now if I do the DNS check, you can see it's now going back to the 159.203.178.171 address, right? And likewise, if we went back here to Constellix DNS, and I looked at it, it's now at the 159 address. So you do get much faster failovers possibly with the Constellix system. You can monitor across fully qualified domain names as well as IP addresses and IPv6. Whereas in DNS Made Easy, you can just monitor off IPv4 addresses. You do get to monitor off of more locations in Constellix than you do with DNS Made Easy, and it's a much more featureful and much more feature-rich application. So that's everything I have for today. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. Open a support ticket, send us an email. That's what we're here for. We're excited to give you these both great products that you can use within your applications. You can use within your infrastructure. They're both cost effective, and we're excited to bring you more and more features coming forward. Once again, this is Stephen Job with DNS Made Easy at Constellix. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.